Hello class, in this video we'll create a polisher lighting and post effects for the environment we have created last time. And this is what we're going to create in the end. So first we're going to move on to lighting. For the default directional light, I don't like the white color and also the angle, so here I can just go to the rotation channel and change the angle of the sun. Since I want it to be the late afternoon, so I can change the color to kind of orangish color. Okay, and then I don't like the color of the sun, so here I'm going to go to the material folder and create a new material. And I'm going to name it to Skybox. And here for the shader, I'm going to change it to Skybox and procedural. Okay. So here we're going to drop the skybox material onto the skybox in the scene. And here we're going to change the atmosphere thickness. And by change it, you can see that it changed the lighting, the environment lights. And you can also change the exposure and also the sun size. And I kind of feel the color of the sun is still not accurate, so I'm going to change it to kind of an orangish and brownish color. And this looks much better. Some of you had issue that when you create a scene it's too dark, the shadow area is internally black. And also if you create a new cube, since the cube is supposed to be white color, but it's kind of a brownish color. So you can go to the lighting setting. You can just click on this button, generate lighting, and you're gonna fix the issue. Okay, so the correct lighting, basically like this, the shadow area, it should have environment lights hitting on it, not entirely black. Okay, so here we're going to go to the render setting, lighting setting again, and we're going to go to the environment tab, and we're going to check on fog. So now, as you can see, if we check fog, and the far side of the trees, there's this, some kind of smoke in it, and we can also change the color of the fog, since this is the late afternoon. So I want the color to be kind of orange color. And this is how it looks. And then we're going to move on to wind. So by default, as you can see, the grass, it moves dramatically. So we can select the terrain, go to the setting, and we can change the wind setting for the grass. It looks much better, and it's gentle. It doesn't affect the trees, it only affects the grass. So for the trees, we're going to move to a different thing. We're going to create a wind zone, and by default is in the center of the world. So we can move it into the cube we have in the scene and zero out the value. So this is going to bring it back here on the stage. So with the wind zone, for any of the trees you created in the scene, you all just change the value here, and you're going to blow the trees and animate the trees. Okay. However, since here we just use a special asset, and for this asset, specific asset, the developer already created a wind zone for us. So we're going to just use that one. As you drop it in the scene, and you can see that. It will work perfectly, and you can just change the value here to make it a little bit more gentle. And then we're going to move on to post-processing. So we're going to go to Window and Package Manager, and you're going to change the packages to Unity Registry. And scroll down below here, you're going to see post-processing, and we're going to install it. And then we're going to select the first person controller. Basically that is the camera for the first person controller, and we're going to switch it to the game view. Okay, so make sure you're selecting the first person character, and here we're going to change the layer type to post processing. Okay, and then we're going to add component, and here we're going to search post processing. Here is it. So we're going to add a post processing layer and also a volume. And here for the layer, we're going to change it to post processing again. And then for the volume tab, make sure to check on is global, so we're going to affect everything pretty much in the scene. And here for the profile, just click on create a new, and now we're going to start to add effects. So first effect we're going to add is ambient occlusion. Basically, you need to create an ambient shadow for the model. So when you have multiple models collide, and you're gonna have shadows. So here's the explanation from Wikipedia, and you can take a detailed look of it. And as we change the intensity, here's how it looks. And then we're going to add a color grading effect, and make sure to check everything on. And we can change the temperature to make the image a little bit warmer, and change the tint as well. And we can increase the exposure a little bit to make it brighter. And we can shift the hue to the warm color side, and also increase the saturation. We want a little bit more saturated color for the late afternoon. And this is before, and this is after the effect. And then we're going to add a depth of field. So for this one, we're going to create a camera effect, so we can switch back to our game view so we can see how it looks. So I'll decrease the aperture, and then we can play with the focus distance. So play with the settings to get the best kind of a camera look for your scene. Okay, now you can see that for the tree in the far side is kind of a little bit blurred out because it's out of focus. And then we're going to create a vignette, and we're going to get a orange color. And then we'll create a green effect and check everything on. So basically the green is kind of simulate the green in film. Okay, so if you want to create a game and looks like a film, a movie, you're going to use it. And then auto exposure. So for auto exposure, basically it's kind of use it to add depth in lighting. I will switch between the lighting spot and the shadow area, the exposure going to change automatically. If you're going to create a scene that you're going to switch between the indoor setting and to outdoor, you may want to use it. So here we can use a process debug and check on light meter. So as you can see, if I point to the lighting area, and then if I point to the shadow area, basically the lights, the intensity of the lighting doesn't make too much difference. So in that case, we will not need this one because the lighting in the scene is very even. We're going to remove it. Alright, so this is how it looks in the end.